Hi Bluecoat, it's Mr. Harris here, and I'm bringing you week 5 of the home science experiments where we are going to make a do-it-yourself lava lamp. Just as always, remember, these are super safe experiments with only a few pieces of equipment that you need, but please make sure you carry this out with an adult at home so that it's completely safe. Okay, we're going to start just by doing a quick recap on what we did last week. So last week we went fishing for ice, and I've got some retrieval questions for you to answer. So first things first, at what temperature does water freeze? What is the effect of putting salt on the ice cube? Why is the string able to pick up the ice cube? So 3 marks available for you there. Firstly, water temperature, it will freeze at 0 degrees C or Celsius. What is the effect of putting salt on the ice cube? It lowers the freezing point, and that makes the ice cube melt just on the top, not the whole ice cube. The string is able to pick up the ice cube because the salt mixes with the water, making the freezing point go back up to 0 degrees Celsius. When the string's on top of it, the water refreezes into ice and becomes part of the ice cube. And that's why you can just pull the string up and hopefully you've got a few ice cubes on your bit of string. Okay, on to today. Few extra ingredients, but they are things that you're quite likely to have around the house. So, bit of vegetable oil or sunflower oil, some cooking oil. Some white vinegar, a cleaning product. Bicarbonate of soda, also a cleaning product. A tall glass, or preferably a bottle. You could do it with a spoon just to help you with this. And then a small jug or a cup and some blue food colouring. Now on to the science. So today we're looking at density. The density of an object relates to its mass, how heavy it is, compared with its volume, the amount of space that it takes up. If you take, for example, a brick and a sponge, which one is heavier? Of course you know the answer to that. The brick has the greater mass and is therefore heavier than the sponge. This means it has a greater density. If you want to go into real detail, that's because the atoms inside the brick are more tightly packed together. There is a mass formula you can use to work out the density, and that is of an object, the mass divided by the volume. Okay, on to today's experiment. So, I'm going to try and take my phone now so that you get a really good view of this. I hope you do. So, going to start by taking my glass and then some of the bicarbonate of soda. Now, you could use a spoon because you need 3 spoonfuls worth for this, but I know the amount, so I'm just going to pour it inside. Should be plenty in there, and then I'm just going to shake it out a little bit so that it's even at the bottom. Now, quite an important part here. This might be a bit where an adult is useful. So, take your vegetable oil and you're going to fill that to about halfway. Be careful not to mix it with the bicarbonate of soda on the bottom. It will just need a little bit of time to settle, but remember, do not mix the oil and the bicarbonate of soda. In the meantime, take your jug and pour a little bit of white vinegar inside and mix it with your food colouring. I've chosen blue because I want it to show up nice and clearly. I actually did this previously and you can see it's in there now. I may just put a little bit more in, because in my test run I've used it up. So, oh dear. So just going to take a bit of the white vinegar. You really don't need too much for this. And I think it's already blue enough in there now. Okay, now is where the magic happens. So, start with just a small amount of the vinegar mixed with your food colouring and drop in a few droplets and we'll see what happens. You can probably see that some of what happened is the vinegar sunk to the bottom because it's more dense than the oil. When it hit the bottom, it reacted with the bicarbonate of soda, and this meant that it shoots back up to the top because of the chemical reaction. I'm going to start to put a bit more in as well and see if it continues. A few more bubbles going in there. Can see lots of reactions going on, and that's how we've got our do-it-yourself lava lamp. Okay, I'm going to keep that going whilst I go over to the screen just to finish off and do an explanation. So, what's going on there then? Well, the vinegar has a higher density compared to the oil, so it sinks to the bottom. Once it sinks to the bottom, it reacts with the bicarbonate of soda. This chemical reaction makes carbon dioxide, which rises, and these are the bubbles you can see rising to the top. I'd really love it if you guys got to have a go at this. So, a few things you could do differently. You could try using baby oil instead of vegetable oil, or water instead of vinegar. Does that still work? It might be fun to use different food colours, so you could use blue and red and see if that makes a difference. Please send any photos into the year group email because it would be fantastic to see some of you, and I hope you've enjoyed this week's science lesson on density.